Hi all, Dr. Rob Silverman here. Happy Monday. Hope we're all doing well. I'm very excited about today's Facebook Live because we're doing this in conjunction with two of the best docs that I know in the United States. Good, close, personal friends of mine. They are from Creator Chiropractic, PC. They provide tremendous chiropractic care. They have laser. They're great at assessing. They do a fabulous job in illuminating their patients. And in this time of need, I can, without question, validate that they care about their patients and they're there for you right now. Plus the fact they are, without question, laser experts. So I'm happy everybody can get on here. Feel free to ask questions. We want to have a little extemporaneous moments. The weekend's been crazy. A lot of things going on. Unfortunately, COVID-19 has taken over the conversation again. More and more people are getting tested positive for it. There's more and more questions about it. So over the weekend, I put together, in conjunction with Dr. Mike Powell and Dr. Mike Warren, some things that I wanted to talk about and share with everybody out there. So the first thing was, people say soap and water. Why soap? What's the big deal about soap? Great article, just let me reference it, March 12, 2020, in The Guardian. It talked about the science of soap and how it killed the coronavirus. Yes, soap and water is one of the best things to inactivate the virus. Viruses aren't truly live. They're not necessarily living beings. They're not like bacteria. They're very different. Viruses actually need a host. Guess what the best host that has protein, carbs, fats for them? The human body. Yes, that's why they love us so very much. And specific things can activate the virus. What we want to do to get rid of it and not have all the damaging, deleterious effects is we want to inactivate the virus. So the virus is made up of three particles. It's made up of RNA, and we know that this particular virus is an RNA virus. It's made up of proteins, and it's made up of fat or lipids, if you will. Soap is also a lipid. So when you use soap, and you should use soap for 20 seconds or more, that's what they've said, in hot water. Viruses don't like heat. They prefer cold. In hot water, really scrubbing for 20 seconds or more, it actually breaks up this membrane bond and rips apart the virus, inactivates it, if you're able to do it. That's why washing with soap and water, soap is essentially a fat. That's why washing with soap and water is so positive for outcomes, and once again, it activates the virus. So everybody needs to obviously wash their hands anytime they think they've come into contact with somebody, something. Remember, the best host is without question a human. So if you have any questions on that, put them in the comment box. We've got a few people here working today. They're going to raise their hands. I will answer that and any questions that you have. So I think we did a good job on covering that so people understand how important it is to wash their hands. People ask about alcohol. They say between 60 and 80%. The sweet spot for alcohol is 75%. So that does a great job of disinfecting the virus. People have been asking about exercise. You know, it's fascinating. No matter where you go, whether it's quarantine, lockdown, shelter in place, stay at home, whatever term, and we're going to go over those later in the week, whatever term that they talk about, they all allow you to go out and exercise because exercise is such a critical element. So many people have asked, well, what kind of exercise? How long? How intense? And what does this do for my immune resilience? So when we talk about immune resilience, we're talking about our immune system being able to ward off the attack from pathogens. Virus is a pathogen. So when we talk about exercise, let me give you some insight to specific numbers in exercise. Exercise in your immune system is actually interesting, a J curve. So those who want to exercise intensely, like a professional athlete, like a LeBron James, for 2 hours or more, actually can compromise your immune system. Now, so many people have called me. They say that they're not going, proverbial blank to the wall when they're exercising. They're not doing that. They're exercising. So what we recommend is high intense interval training, 20 minutes or less, even Tabata. That's great. Get your heart rate up. Get your exercise going. There are reasons why this is so good and why it builds the immune system. In addition, good range, or a good equation, if you will, for an hour is 60 minutes at 60% of your heart rate. So it's 220 minus your age and times 60%. So 220 minus 50, 170, 60%. You guys do the math. That's a perfect spot for 60 minutes to get your heart rate up. It's very immune boosting. It actually allows you to release opiates. You feel a little bit better. In addition to that, one of the things that's underrated for exercise and immune system, it's its ability to stimulate lymphatic flow. So by stimulating lymphatic flow, lymphs are great because lymph are a great defense mechanism to overall pathogens. In addition, exercising gets blood flow to go. I just touched my face. The average American touches your face every 2 to 5 seconds, and I just did it, but I'm conscious of it. I will wash my hands with soap afterwards. This increased circulation stimulates our own body's immune system. So monocytes, macrophages, and the like now are going to flow to areas in a quicker manner, therefore taking apart any pathogens, attacking the pathogens, and allowing and utilizing our own immune system to function optimally. Exercise is a critical component. I don't know that many people who are exercising 2 to 3 hours at such a high intense level that there would be like an athletic encounter. But exercise is great. Remember the J curve. The diet for immune resistance. So many people have asked me, could I go over the diet? We have a lot of new people here following, so I wrote this down. Diet for immune resistance. Proper diet equals enhanced immunity versus poor diet, impaired immunity. So what's poor? What would I not recommend? Well, obviously, you guys heard me say this multiple times. No gluten, no dairy, and without question, decrease your sugar. Decrease your sugar. Sugar is a toxin. It damages your body. 300 calories of sugar. So if you, Starbucks, which is open, you went and got a Frappuccino, there would be more than 300 calories of sugar. 300 calories of sugar decreases your immune system for 2 hours by 50%. So clearly, anything that damages or decreases your immune system, you want to avoid. So let's avoid sugar. Let's avoid fried foods. Let's avoid the things that actually damage our immune system. Again, foods to eat, all good whole foods. Eat from the cherry tree, as I say, or eat from the rainbow of food. Lots of colors of fruits and vegetables. In fact, eat things that you normally don't eat in fruits and vegetables. Like my wife made a point to me, I eat greens. I'm a broccoli guy. That's my thing. So now we're going to get some Brussels sprouts, which is also a cruciferous vegetable. Excellent, because cruciferous vegetables, if they're not cooked, give you something called sulforaphane, a great ingredient which allows you to help with your natural antioxidants. Pick from the cherry tree. Lots of fruits and vegetables. Plant-based. Let's get those smash wild fish. We've talked about that before. Salmon is a great choice, mackerel and the like. Eating a lot more fish. Grass-fed beefs. Good quality eggs. Good quality proteins. Let's avoid processed food. So if man makes it, as Jacqueline says, don't eat it. A little aside, tofu is a processed food. So we don't want to eat tofu. Cheese, even though it's dairy, is also a processed food. Let's try and avoid cheese. Don't leave me now. I know I said I took away something that you liked. Doesn't mean that you can't have organic dark chocolate. Great choice. Please pick some different foods because you want a biodiversity in your gut. As we all know, 80% of our immune cells are in our gut. It's where our macro and micronutrients are absorbed. If anything, we always want to keep our gut healthy. Try and limit the alcohol. It's really funny that I never knew that liquor stores were essential, but they're all open. So, I don't drink, but I found that out because I walked down the road and I saw it open and they were crowded. They were waiting online 6 feet apart to get in there. So, again, they're essential. Let's limit the amount of alcohol that we consume. Certainly, let's look for more organic type of stuff. Sorry, Mike, I know I broke your heart with that. Getting back to the diet, again, that biodiversity, those different things, let's add them because the biodiversity in our gut is a critical element. Another way to get good biodiversity is what we talked about, exercise. Let's get a walk. Let's do body weight exercises, push-ups, squats, planks, lunges, skipping rope, jumping. whatever you got. I mean, I see so many people online now doing some great workouts, home workouts, kettlebells, TRX, bungee type stuff, all good choices. It's very interesting that there's something called the New Frontier in Coronavirus Testing. March 27th, 2020 came out in Stats News. So obviously we're all waiting for a vaccine. We all know from what they say the vaccine could take up to 12 months. However, there are people who have been exposed, who went through a really difficult time, and there's other people who are exposed and didn't even know it. The bottom line is that if your body's been exposed, you have produced antibodies to it. So let's go through to a couple of antibodies that could be present in your body if you had coronavirus. We have IgM and IgA. IgM is the quickest and easily detectable because it's a immunoglobulin. It's part of our immune system that comes to protect ourselves at the earliest time during onslaught of a pathogen attacking us. IgA would be over a duration of time or reactivation. There are tests that are now probably going to come out in the next week or two that enable us to test if we have the immunoglobulins. So the theory is if we've been tested, we probably are not going to be able to be exposed in the next duration of time. It may not be permanent. So right now it looks like there's going to be a serum test. Serum means a blood test that removes it to see if you have these antibodies present, which would be a great thing. And after the serum test, they're going to do what they call a blood spot. So that you take your thumb like a diabetic and you put blood on a little piece of paper, you send it in and they test for it. So I am very robust on this. I am looking forward to this test. I'm hopeful they come with this test. Those people on the front lines, those doctors, those nurses, those medical, who are involved in a close arena with people who are positive from coronavirus. Many of them, I'm sure, have been exposed. Many of them, I'm sure, have antibodies. It would be great for them because they wouldn't probably be quite as nervous. And what's interesting is as they theorize, the scientists, and the scientists look great through all this, they theorize that they can at some point take these antibodies and make something called convalescent plasma. And they would start injecting people with convalescent plasma. So that's a science that's coming down the pike. It should be here quite promptly. It's already being tested. So I know we have a lot of people. I saw the hands raised. It's question time, everybody. Everybody always loves for me to pontificate, and then they ask the question. I'm always looking for the questions during it. So we're going to give a second. Hopefully those questions will pop up. No questions today. All right, no problem. One question that I got in an email, because I was speaking to somebody about the antibodies, and they said, well, how are we going to do it? You know, we're a little concerned. Well, it looks like some of the companies in the process will have probably phlebotomists come to your house, and in that they'll come to your house and they'll remove the blood, or you meet you in the garage or your driveway. The blood spots are easy because they'll drop ship. Well, we got the questions piling in now.
Can poorly controlled sleep apnea put one at risk for severe complications for COVID-19?
Absolutely. You know, I'm happy that somebody brought up the idea of sleep. Who asked that question?
Dennis Bolanos Enriquez.
Dennis, thank you. Where are you from? Let her know. Canada. Great question. The reason it's a great question, tomorrow we're going to talk about sleep, but I want to answer your question now. If sleep is a critical element to help your overall immune system. So you need 7 to 8 good hours of sleep or your immune system is not going to recover. So sleep apnea, in my opinion, is almost a comorbidity for any of these type of defense mechanisms that you need to hold off the pathogen. Remember, virus is not live. I want to make that clear, but it is a pathogen. So good sleep. Bad sleep leads you down a path, because I'm a barrier guy. I'm always worried about my gut barrier, my blood-brain barrier, lung barriers, liver and kidney are all being discussed a lot with COVID-19. There's studies that have shown that not a good night's sleep or good quality sleep actually damages your blood-brain barrier, leads you down a precipitous path of injury to your brain.
Would you dry brush before or after exercise? Dry brush, just brush it.
Oh, okay.
Increase circulation.
I think increasing circulation is great, especially after exercise. So if I were to exercise and I had like a thumper, I would warm up, get it going, and then I would dry brush after. Exercise is critical. You know, it's getting that circulation. It's getting the antibodies maybe to come out. It's getting your own natural immune system, your macrophages and your monocytes to get going. And I think anything you guys can do in the exercise genre to stimulate blood circulation, it's good. Don't give yourself hives. Don't get crazy, but get that blood circulating. You know, movement is key. You know, and I can't make this point more important that every government is allowing us to exercise. You know, there was an opinion article today in the New York Times. David Ludwig, he's excellent, and they said that they believe that Americans are actually too sick to go to work, because they said it was like 80% of people over 20 have their immune system is compromised because we're too heavy and we're too toxic and everything. And it was an opinion article. There was nothing that substantiated it with statistics or anything like that. But they believe that too many Americans are not healthy. So, having said that, now's your opportunity to get healthy, because we are going to go back to work and we are going to get over this and we are going to get past the peak. So now's your time. Now's your training camp. Now's your time to eat healthy. Now's your time to exercise. Now's the time to get your head right. So when we go back to work, we're shot out of a cannon. And again, we lead the world in all the things that we want to lead the world in. We're good? All right. We'll be back tomorrow. We invite everybody from Creator Chiropractic PC to please join us. We'd love you to join us every day. I'm always in conversation with Dr. Warren and Dr. Powell. We're probably going to have some other groups join us tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. 1 o'clock, weekdays, Eastern Standard Time. Check out my Instagram, same name, Dr. Robert Silverman, LinkedIn. Hope to see you tomorrow. Dr. Rob Silverman, always yours in health.